America's first experimental bombers rise into the sky. No one knows they're watching history happen. For 8 decades, an obsession consumed engineers, pilots, and generals. Bigger, faster, more lethal. They built machines that could flatten cities, machines that won wars, machines that haunted the conscience of nations. This is the untold story of the weapons that defined an era, and the price paid in blood, innovation, and morality. Boeing X-B-15, 1937. The Boeing X-B-15 first flew in 1937 as America's experimental leap into long-range strategic bombing. With a 149-foot wingspan and 4 Pratt & Whitney engines producing 850 horsepower each, it could carry 2,500 pounds of bombs over 5,130 miles. Only one prototype was built, but it proved that massive multi-engine bombers could fly intercontinental distances. The aircraft served as a transport during World War II, hauling cargo across the Pacific. Though never used as a combat bomber, the XB-15 validated concepts that would define American strategic aviation for 8 decades. Boeing B-17, Flying Fortress, 1938. The B-17 entered service in 1938 and became the backbone of America's daylight bombing campaign over Europe. At 74 feet long, with 4 Wright Cyclone engines, it could carry 4,500 pounds of bombs at 287 miles per hour to targets 2,000 miles away. Boeing built an astounding 12,731 B-17S between 1938 and 1945. The 8th Air Force lost 4,735 B-17S over Europe, a devastating 47% loss rate. But the aircraft proved daylight precision bombing could work. The price of victory was written in blood across German skies. Consolidated B-24 Liberator, 1941. The B-24 first flew in 1941 and became the most produced American military aircraft in history. With a 110-foot wingspan and 4 Pratt & Whitney engines, it carried 8,000 pounds of bombs at 290 miles per hour over 2,100 miles. Its innovative Davis wing gave superior range and fuel efficiency compared to the B-17. Between 1941 and 1945, American factories produced 18,482 Liberators, more than any other bomber ever built. The B-24 served in every theater, proving that industrial might could overwhelm any enemy through sheer production volume. Douglas X B-19, 1941. The Douglas X B-19 first flew in 1941 as the largest American aircraft built before World War II. With a staggering 212-foot wingspan and 4 Wright R-3350 engines, it weighed 162,000 pounds fully loaded and could carry 37,100 pounds of bombs. Only one was built, and it never saw combat because it was too slow at 224 miles per hour and too expensive to mass produce during wartime. Douglas learned hard lessons from the XB-19 and used that knowledge to design better cargo aircraft. The bomber proved that bigger isn't always better, but it pushed engineering boundaries that benefited post-war aviation. Boeing YB-40 Flying Fortress, 1943. The YB-40 flew combat missions in 1943 as an experimental gunship escort for B-17 formations. Boeing converted 25 B-17 to YB-40 configuration by stripping out the bomb bay and installing 14.50 caliber machine guns plus 11,000 rounds of ammunition. Only 13 flew combat missions over Europe in mid-1943, and the concept failed spectacularly. The heavily armed YB-40 couldn't keep up with a lighter B-17 after they dropped their bombs and accelerated. The YB-40 proved that specialized escort bombers were impractical. Long-range fighters like the P-51 Mustang would solve the escort problem instead. Boeing B-21 29. Superfortress, 1944. The B-29 entered service in 1944 and revolutionized strategic bombing with pressurized crew compartments, remotely controlled gun turrets, and the ability to carry atomic weapons. At 99 feet long, with 4 Wright R-3350 engines producing 2,200 horsepower each, it could carry 20,000 pounds of bombs at 350 miles per hour to targets 3,250 miles away. Boeing built 3,970 B-29s between 1943 and 1946. The B-29 firebombed Japanese cities and dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, ending the war and changing history forever. The Superfortress represented a quantum leap in bomber technology that no other nation could match in 1945. Consolidated B-32 Dominator, 1944. The B-32 entered service in 1944 as insurance against B-29 failure. With a 135-foot wingspan and 4 Wright R-3350 engines, it carried 20,000 pounds of bombs at 357 miles per hour over 3,800 miles. Consolidated built only 118 B-32s, and just 15 saw combat in the Pacific during the final weeks of World War II. The B-32 flew the last American combat mission of the war on August 18, 1945, a bittersweet distinction. The Superfortress worked brilliantly, so the Dominator proved unnecessary, but insurance that prevents disaster is always worth the cost. Boeing B-50 Superfortress, 1947. The B-50 entered service in 1947 as an improved B-29 with more powerful Pratt and Whitney R-4360 engines producing 3,500 horsepower each. At 99 feet long, it could carry 20,000 pounds of bombs at 395 miles per hour over 4,650 miles. Boeing built 371 B-50s between 1947 and 1953. In 1949, a B-50 named Lucky Lady 2 completed the first non-stop around-the-world flight with aerial refueling, covering 23,452 miles in 94 hours. The B-50 served as America's primary nuclear bomber until the B-36 and B-47 entered service, bridging the gap between piston and jet propulsion. Convair B-36 Peacemaker, 1949. The B-36 entered service in 1949 as the largest mass-produced piston-engine aircraft ever built, with a titanic 230-foot wingspan and 6 Pratt & Whitney R-4360 engines pushing, while 4 General Electric J-47 turbojets pulled. It could carry 86,000 pounds of bombs at 435 miles per hour over an incredible 10,000 miles. Convair built 384 B-36 between 1946 and 1954. The B-36 could strike any Soviet target and return without refueling, the ultimate strategic deterrent. Crews called it 6 turning, 4 burning because of its 10-engine hybrid propulsion, and it guaranteed that no Soviet leader could sleep soundly during the early Cold War. Convair XB-46, 1947. The XB-46 first flew in 1947 as one of 3 jet bomber prototypes competing for Air Force contracts. With a 113-foot wingspan and 4 General Electric J-35 turbojets, it could carry 22,000 pounds of bombs at 545 miles per hour. Only one prototype was built. The XB-46 lost the competition to Boeing's revolutionary B-47, which offered superior performance and the groundbreaking swept-wing design. Convair scrapped the program in 1950, but the XB-46's failure pushed Convair to develop the revolutionary B-58 Hustler, Sometimes losing competitions drives greater innovations. Martin X B-48, 1947. The XB-48 first flew in 1947 as another jet bomber prototype, competing against the B-47. With a 108-foot wingspan and 6 Allison J-35 turbojets, it could carry 22,000 pounds of bombs at 516 miles per hour. Martin built 2 prototypes featuring a revolutionary bicycle landing gear configuration with outrigger wheels, an unusual design that proved impractical. The Air Force chose Boeing's B-47 instead, and Martin cancelled the XB-48 in 1950. The XB-48 demonstrated creative thinking, but the B-47's swept-wing design proved superior. Sometimes elegant simplicity beats unconventional innovation. Northrop YB-49, 1947. The YB-49 first flew in 1947 as a jet-powered flying wing with a 172-foot wingspan and 8 Allison J-35 turbojets. It could carry 16,000 pounds of bombs at 493 miles per hour over 4,000 miles. Northrop built 2 YB-49s. The flying wing offered exceptional range and radical radar stealth, a concept decades ahead of its time. But stability problems plagued the design, and a fatal crash in 1948 ended the program's momentum. The Air Force cancelled the YB-49 in 1950, but Northrop would return with the B-2 Spirit 40 years later, proving that visionary ideas wait for technology to catch up. North American B-45 Tornado, 1948. The B-45 entered service in 1948 as America's first operational jet bomber. With a 96-foot wingspan and 4 General Electric J-47 turbojets, it could carry 22,000 pounds of bombs at 579 miles per hour over 1,910 miles. North American built 143 B-45s between 1947 and 1950. The B-45 served primarily in reconnaissance roles during the Korean War, photographing targets deep in enemy territory, dangerous missions flown by brave crews. The Tornado proved that jet bombers could operate effectively in combat, that the future wasn't just technology, but proven operational capability. Boeing B-47 Stratojet, 1951. The B-47 entered service in 1951 and revolutionized bomber design with 3 innovations: swept wings, pod-mounted engines, and bicycle landing gear. With a 116-foot wingspan and 6 General Electric J-47 turbojets, it could carry 25,000 pounds of bombs at 607 miles per hour over 4,000 miles. Boeing built 2,323 B-47s between 1947 and 1956, the most produced jet bomber in history. The B-47's swept-wing design influenced every jet aircraft that followed, from the B-52 to the 707 airliner. 6 engines and swept wings defined the jet age. Convair YB-60, 1952. The YB-60 first flew in 1952 as a jet-powered version of the legendary B-36. With a 206-foot wingspan and 8 Pratt & Whitney J-57 turbojets, it could carry 72,000 pounds of bombs at 508 miles per hour. Only one prototype was built. The YB-60 competed directly against Boeing's revolutionary B-52, which offered better performance despite being significantly smaller. The Air Force chose the B-52 in 1952, and Convair scrapped the YB-60 immediately. The YB-60 was the safe choice. The B-52 was the right one. Sometimes technology changes everything. Boeing B-52, Stratofortress, 1955. The B-52 entered service in 1955 and became the longest-serving bomber in aviation history. With a 185-foot wingspan and 8 Pratt & Whitney J-57 turbojets, it could carry 70,000 pounds of bombs at 650 miles per hour over 8,800 miles. Boeing built 744 B-52s between 1952 and 1962. The B-52 dropped bombs in Vietnam, launched cruise missiles in Iraq, and continues flying combat missions today. Designed to be obsolete by 1980, it still flies after 70 years. The Air Force plans to operate B-52s until 2050, giving it a 95-year service life. Proof that the right design never truly becomes obsolete. Convair B-58, Hustler, 1960. The B-58 entered service in 1960 as the world's first supersonic bomber. With a sleek 56-foot wingspan and 4 General Electric J-79 turbojets with afterburners, it could carry 19,450 pounds of bombs at Mach 2.0 over 4,400 miles. Convair built 116 B-58s between 1956 and 1962. The Hustler was beautiful, fast, and set 19 world speed and altitude records. But operational costs were astronomical, requiring 3 crew members and extensive ground support. The Air Force retired the B-58 in 1970 after only 10 years. Mach 2 wasn't cheap, and beauty doesn't pay the bills. North American XB-70 Valkyrie, 1964. The XB-70 first flew in 1964 as a Mach 2 strategic bomber designed to operate at 70,000 feet. With a 105-foot wingspan and 6 General Electric YJ-93 turbojets, it could carry 50,000 pounds of bombs at an incredible Mach 3.08 over 4,300 miles. North American built 2 prototypes. The XB-70 was the most advanced bomber ever designed, with a delta wing that folded at supersonic speeds. Soviet surface-to-air missiles made high-altitude bombing obsolete before the XB-70 entered production. Congress cancelled the program in 1961, though NASA continued testing until 1969. Sometimes the future arrives too
General
late.
Dynamics.
FB-111A, 1967. The FB-111A entered service in 1967 as a strategic bomber variant of the F-111 tactical fighter. With a 70-foot wingspan that swept to 33 feet and 2 Pratt & Whitney TF-30 turbofans, it could carry 37,500 pounds of bombs at Mach 2.5 over 4,100 miles. General Dynamics built 76 FB-111As between 1967 and 1971. The swing wing design allowed high-speed penetration at low altitude to avoid Soviet radar. The FB-111A served with Strategic Air Command until 1991, then transferred to Tactical Command as the F-111G until 1996. The Mach 3 dream died, but the swing wing compromise survived. Rockwell B-1A, 1974. The B-1A first flew in 1974 as a supersonic strategic bomber designed to replace the aging B-52. With a 137-foot wingspan that swept to 79 feet and 4 General Electric F-101 turbofans, it could carry 75,000 pounds of bombs at Mach 2.2 over 6,100 miles. Rockwell built 4 prototypes. President Jimmy Carter cancelled the B-1A in 1977, choosing cruise missiles and the B-2 stealth bomber instead. The decision made strategic sense. Stealth was the future. The B-1A proved swing-wing bombers could fly Mach 2, but politics and changing doctrine ended the program. Rockwell B-1B Lancer, 1986. The B-1B entered service in 1986 as a revised B-1A, optimized for low-altitude penetration instead of high-altitude speed. With a 137-foot wingspan that swept to 79 feet and 4 General Electric F-101 turbofans, it could carry 75,000 pounds of bombs at Mach 1.2, 5 over 5,100 miles. Rockwell built 100 B-1Bs between 1983 and 1988. The B-1B traded the B-1A's Mach 2 speed for reduced radar signature and improved low-altitude performance. The Lancer dropped more bombs in Afghanistan and Iraq than any other bomber, proving that low and fast beats high and fast. Northrop B-2 Spirit, 1989. The B-2 entered service in 1989 as the world's first operational stealth bomber. With a 172-foot wingspan and 4 General Electric F118 turbofans buried deep in the flying wing structure, it could carry 40,000 pounds of bombs at 630 miles per hour over 6,900 miles. Northrop built 21 B-2s between 1987 and 2000 at a staggering $2.2 billion per aircraft, the most expensive military aircraft ever constructed. The B-2's flying wing design and radar-absorbent materials made it virtually invisible to enemy radar. The Spirit opened every major American air campaign since 1999, striking targets in Serbia, Afghanistan, Iraq, and Libya with impunity. Northrop Grumman B-21 Raider, 2023. The B-21 first flew in 2023 as America's next-generation stealth bomber. With an estimated 150-foot wingspan and 2 Pratt & Whitney engines, detailed specifications remain classified. The Air Force will build at least 100 Raiders at approximately $700 million each, replacing the B-1B and portions of the B-2 fleet by 2030. The B-21 incorporates hard-won lessons from the B-2 with advanced stealth technology, but costs 1/3 as much per aircraft. The Raider continues a tradition starting in 1937. Strategic bombing evolves, but the mission never ends. From piston engines to classified futures, America's bombers deliver power from the skies.